I want to relax by the pool and spend time with my boys.
I'm a huge fan.
I want to taste some of Emerald's barbecue shrimp.
I want my mommy.
I want to feel the wind in my hair.
I want to go where no one can reach me.
I want...
Well, how about what I want? It's always Shrek, Shrek, Shrek. What about Duncan?
2 thrilling theme parks, world-class hotels, restaurants, and incredible nightlife. Universal Orlando Resort, a vacation from the ordinary. Fairy tales and pixie dust not quite your thing? Log on to universalorlando.com for a vacation package that'll blow your mind.
Universal Orlando Resort, home to 2 of my favorite theme parks ever, Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. I am super passionate about these parks. It's the main reason I made this channel, since it doesn't fit my main channel, which you should totally subscribe to, by the way. But with any theme park fan, the question always comes up, what are your favorite and least favorite rides of the park? Today, that's what we're going to be talking about. In today's video, I'll be listing off my top 5 best and worst Universal Orlando rides. Before we begin, I need to set some rules. Rule number 1. This list only consists of rides, so shows like Born Spectacular will not be on this list. Rule number 2. This will only be on the current rides at the parks, so no Back to the Future or Dueling Dragons. Rule number 3. I have not been on these rides. Yes, I know, I suck, I'm not a real fan, whatever. So if you comment, actually, Velocicoaster is the best ride, you'll know why it's not on the list. So anyways, let's start off with the top 5 best and worst Universal Orlando rides.
You mean like at Universal Studios? Ching.
Number 5 might be a controversial pick, but I'm have to go with the Cat in the Hat. Cat in the Hat is located at Islands of Adventure in Seuss Landing. It was an indoor spinning dark ride. The main reason I say was is because it doesn't spin anymore, or it doesn't spin as intensely as it used to. The rumor is that the manufacturer for this ride ran out of business, so it's kind of hard for Universal to find the parts to repair it. So they had to put it in B mode so the ride doesn't completely suck. And also, fun fact, the same manufacturer for this ride is also the same manufacturer for Men in Black. So now, without the spinning, it's just a regular dark ride. That would be fine. Sure, some of the fun factor is gone of it, but the bad thing about this is there are some scenes in the ride meant for spinning, but since you aren't spinning, the scene is just weird. The first thing I think of when this happens is the optical illusion scene where it looks like Cat in the Hat is coming closer. That only works with spinning, but with no spinning, it looks weird. You're just slowly approaching the cat with nothing happening. Universal does not take good care of this ride for years now. A place you would notice this is in the animatronics. They don't really move well, which for the most part would be fine, but it doesn't help the fact is that they look gross. Look at this, it's disgusting. He's literally sagging, it's gross. Another thing is, the ride doesn't even try to hide the behind the scenes stuff that you shouldn't be seeing, like lights hanging from the top of the ceiling and other things like that. Another problem with this ride is the audio. Sometimes the audio could be perfectly fine in one scene, but then in the next you can barely hear what they're saying. Also, a scene where the screen where it's supposed to be the cat falling, but since this ride came out in 1999, the animation does not look good at all. So Universal, just please update this ride, it desperately needs it. At the number 4 spot, we have Race to New York starring Jimmy Fallon. I just want to specify that none of the rides, well except for one, on this list I actually hate. They're either just okay or mid at best. So compared to other rides at the resort, Jimmy Fallon isn't special or good as the other rides. Does this mean it's a bad ride? No, not really. But when put up against other rides, it's not that good. Based to New York, sorry Jimmy Fallon, that's too long. I'm just gonna say Jimmy Fallon from now on. It's a 3D motion simulator based ride on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. It's similar to Despicable Me, but while that ride is wholesome and charming, Jimmy Fallon doesn't really have anything going for it except for the queue. The queue for this ride is really cool. It's like a museum of The Tonight Show, showing its history and past host. Another thing is, who asks for a Jimmy Fallon ride? Like, no one asked for this. Of course, the decision was made by NBC Universal for brand synergy, I guess. But before I finish this segment, I'd just like to say thank you for Universal making this ride.
You saved me. Why?
Monkey.
At the number 3 spot, we have Skull Island Reign of Kong. Skull Island Reign of Kong is a dark ride mixed 3D simulator based on the King Kong movies. King Kong has been a staple of the Universal Parks for a long time now. First he was in Hollywood in the Studio Tram Tour with King Kong Encounter. Then he moved to Florida with Kongfiltration that opened with Universal Studios Florida. But then that was replaced with Revenge of the Mummy, which we'll get back to later, in 2002. In 2008, King Kong Encounter closed due to an unfortunate fire that happened in the backlot building where the attraction was then in. In 2010, Kong came back to Hollywood with King Kong 360 3D, which still operates to this day. Then it was moved over to Islands of Adventure with Skull Island Reign of Kong in 2016, and became next door neighbors with Dudley Do Right and Jurassic Park. Kong is a weird ride, in terms of that it has so much going for it, but also has so much going against it. Ride queue is amazing. It's really well themed and kinda creepy too. I know the first time I went in the queue I was pretty freaked out. It didn't help at the time there were scare actors in the queue scaring people. Universal must have stopped doing it because ever since 2017 I've never seen another scare actor in the queue. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments though. The queue also has an animatronic woman saying something, I don't know, something about Kong. I found out the best part of this ride is the giant King Kong animatronic at the end of the ride. Most likely a reference to Kongfiltration that had 2 big King Kong animatronics. Now the thing going against it is the screens. I would say 90% of the ride is screens. That is one thing people complain when talking about Universal. They're over-reliant on screens. I agree, but also disagree, but that's a story for another day. Another thing is, the ride isn't really fun. It simulates motion, but it isn't thrilling at all. But overall, Kong is just okay. Okay, so writing this video, I went to Universal again, and they've removed the 3D from Kong. So now it just sucks. So I wouldn't say go on it unless you want air conditioning.
And magnitude. Oh yeah!
Number 2 is the newest ride at the resort, and that is VillainCon Minion Blast. I went on this for the first time at my latest trip while riding this, and it was mid. I rushed past the queue because there was like a 0-minute wait, so I didn't really get time to look around and watch the queue video. But the actual ride itself was not really good. I don't want to go too deep into my thoughts because I plan on making a whole video on my thoughts, but it isn't that good. And yes, I know it's controversial, but I'd much rather have Shrek here. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into it since I have a video planned, so stay tuned for that. Here it is, the moment you've been waiting for. The worst ride at Universal Studios. Whatever could it possibly be? It's Revenge of the Mummy. Just kidding, it's Fast and the Furious Supercharged. Like, what else would it be? Fast and the Furious Supercharged is an attraction at Universal made as a torture method for misbehaving guests. I think everyone already knows why this ride is complete donkey crap. It's not fun, it's just like Kong but 10 times worse. The acting is so terrible.
Pierce, Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move. Yeah, that's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt? I'm not
You're under arrest right now.
The effects are bad, and it's just really boring. I don't know how else I could describe it. I mean, it replaced Disaster, so I guess that's a fitting name for it. I can only think of one good thing about this ride, and that's the people working at the pre-shows. They are actually the best part of the ride, because they know it's bad, and they try to make the most of it by making funny jokes about it. So if you're at the parks, please, for the love of God, do not waste your time on this piece of crap. So yeah, Fast and Furious is number 1. Well, that concludes the worst list, and now next we have the best list. But before we get to that, I want to mention some honorable mentions. The 2 honorable mentions are E.T. Adventure, and probably the most controversial pick on this whole entire video is the Simpsons ride. Now, there are way more rides that I like, but I kind of just wanted to do 2 because now, if I was to place these 2 in the best and worst list, I would put E.T. in worst. Okay, hear me out. It's definitely not a bad ride. It's really good, but it's not in this best shape. Certainly with some of the animatronics, like the one dog-face animatronic.
It's hideous!
And I would have the Simpsons ride in best. I'm a huge Simpsons fan, so that probably has something to do with it. And I think it is the funniest ride at the resort. And it's really quotable. So that's the honorable mentions. Now we can get onto the best list. Strap in, folks, because this is about to get heavy.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Or maybe not. Maybe we have the same opinions. I don't know.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
At number 5, we got Men in Black Alien Attack. On who doesn't like this ride? Men in Black Alien Attack is a shooting interactive dark ride located at Islands of Adventure. What? Men in Black Alien Attack is a shooting interactive dark ride located at Universal Studios Florida that opened in 2000, based on the hit 1997 film Men in Black. I really enjoyed the first Men in Black movie. I'd never seen the second one, and I saw some of the third one, but I don't remember much. And I saw international theaters, which sucked. This ride is just so much fun. I think it's the best shooting ride I've ever been on. It's really fun, and all the spinning, something that Canada had lost, makes the experience much better. It has great sets and amazing theming with some great animatronics. And it even has Will Smith. Will flipping Smith. Obviously known from his iconic film role in Shark Tale. So yes, this ride is pretty peak.
He's not Spider Pig anymore, he's Harry Plopper.
At number 4, we have a tie, because I couldn't pick which one I liked more. It is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey and Revenge of the Mummy. I really couldn't choose which one was better. I like both of them about the same. They're both really thrilling rides and have amazing theming and a great story. So it's kind of hard for me to choose. I do really like the Harry Potter movies more than the Mummy movies, but Brendan Fraser is cool. The Mummy is a scarier ride than Harry Potter. Yeah, this is way harder than I thought. Let's just say the Mummy is better than Harry Plopper's. I might change my mind in like a week, but that's how I feel now. Probably would have enjoyed this segment of the video way more if I had gotten my cup of coffee.
Romanoff, you and Banner better not be playing hide the zucchini.
Number 3, we have the Incredible Hulk coaster. Wow, what an incredible coaster. The Incredible Hulk coaster is a launch coaster at Islands of Adventure. The ride reaches up to 67 miles per hour. It has 7 versions throughout the ride, and it was refurbished in 2015, which included an updated queue line, a whole new track with new trains, and a banger onboard audio made by Patrick Stump. I think the music on this ride is one of the best parts. It's honestly so good. This coaster is incredibly thrilling. I think some people might have the Mummy higher than this, so if you're wondering why this is higher, than the mummy, well then it's probably the music again. So yeah, Incredible Hulk is pretty fire. That's why it's on number 3. At number 2 is Hagrid's Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. Why is the name so long? Hagrid's is a highly themed, multi-launch steel roller coaster that opened in 2019. Hagrid's replaced Dragon Challenge, which was before Dueling Dragons. I've never been on any of those rides, so comment below what you thought of it. Was it better at Hagrid's? I highly doubt, because Hagrid's is amazing. Is it the most thrilling coaster out there? No. But it makes up for that with the incredible theming, great animatronics, and a really good onboard audio score. A coaster doesn't have to be incredibly thrilling to be great. It just has to be fun and well themed. Hagrid understands that. Great ride. RP Robbie Coltrane.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
And now for the moment you have all been waiting for. The best ride at Universal Orlando Resort. This might be a popular choice, it might not. That's up to you to decide. You might be wondering, what ride is this? Well, it's no other than...
Pause for effect.
The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. If you know me well enough, then you already know this was going to be at number 1. I am a massive Spider-Man fan. He's my favorite character of all time. I love this character with all my heart. Some might say to an unhealthy amount. And they're probably right. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is a 3D motion simulator dark ride based on the famous character of I think Batman, maybe Superman, I don't know. It opened with Islands of Adventure on May 28th, 1999, and in 2004 a second version of the ride opened at Universal Studios Japan, but then closed recently in 2024. For some reason, I don't know why, maybe for more Pokemon. The attraction has a hybrid that combines motion vehicles with a 3D projection and a physical sets. First run on this ride, it was truly an experience I would never forget. Probably because it broke down, but I don't think that's why. I was in awe of what I was experiencing. It was nothing like I've ever seen before. This ride, to me, at least, is endlessly quotable. I can probably read the whole script of this ride from my head. Everything from the intense ride system, special effects, the set design, the action, and I could really go on, but I don't want to be here all day. So, Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is the best ride at Universal Orlando Resort. And it's my favorite ride ever. Well, that was my top 5 best and worst rides at Universal Orlando Resort. Let me know if you agree or not in the comments below. And respectfully, please, because I don't want to argue. Again, these are all my opinions. If you have Fast and Furious at number 1, you're crazy. If you have Fast and Furious at number 1, that's okay. It's just opinions after all. So, that's the end of the video. Bye.